I love everything about teaching. I think the most important point for me about teaching is that the students and I are learning together in the classroom every day. I think about teaching as a cycle in that I think about what students need to learn, the objectives, and then I think about the pedagogies that I use in the class and how I'm going to help them learn, and then the assessment, how I make sure that students have learned. And so it's that cycle, and within that cycle, I think the greatest part about it is when I see that light bulb go on in students' eyes. This is a really tough question for me because I think that every student is a success story. When I see students that I've had who are now in their own classrooms, and I see them out in their classroom or at a conference, and they talk to me about how UW Oshkosh has impacted their teaching and their classrooms, that's a success story. I do have on my computer, and I used to have it in a file folder, a warm fuzzy folder where when previous students send me an email about something that they're doing or something that they've learned that they thought about me and it's impacted their classroom, I save that email. And so those are my warm fuzzy stories that I think of as success stories. I think education is so interesting yet so complicated. Teachers every day have to be on the ball. They have to have the knowledge and skills and dispositions to meet the needs of diverse children in their classroom. And in particular, my area of literacy is also evolving as we know more about how children learn to read and write and speak, and then what they need to be successful in life. And so there are evolving standards that are constantly changing the way that teachers need to teach. And in literacy, that means that it's not just the language arts or the English teacher or the elementary teacher anymore that's thinking about literacy. Instead, it's everybody. Science teachers need to think about how they help students make an argument, claims and evidence and reasoning. And social studies teachers need to think about how they help students read and write like a historian. And so the field of literacy is fascinating and changing and evolving, and being involved in education is just exciting. My research has revolved around literacy and teacher professional development, adolescent literacy, and technology. When teachers put a question out in the morning about a topic that they may be teaching about on Twitter, and then within that day, maybe 20 or 30 people from across the world have responded to their question and given them ideas. So a fantastic way to learn from other professionals across the world. I also have done research related to early literacy and family involvement in literacy in a collaborative project with the United Way and Dr. Michelina Manzi. We looked at how having one book a month delivered to a child from birth to age 5 had such positive impacts on literacy for that child and their families. Most recently, I've been looking at online discussion groups and the types of prompts that produce collaborative discussions in an online setting, as well as a really interesting research project that I just did with a graduate student, which is the first time that I've collaborated with a graduate student in the professional counseling area. And we looked at how personality traits, introverts versus extroverts, related to preference in online versus face-to-face discussions in a classroom situation. So very interesting research that not only impacts my own personal teaching here at UW Oshkosh, but also is informative for the education community in general. Why not UW Oshkosh? Seriously, I think Oshkosh is an outstanding institution. People here care about the students. We want students to succeed, and we'll do everything we can to help them. Interpersonal interactions between professors and students. We know that these interactions between students and professors make a difference in student success. And here at Oshkosh, you are not just a number. Instead, you're a person with goals and aspirations, and we are here to help you succeed. Okay, I have one more thing that I remembered that I wanted to say about why education. Let me just think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a really good thing that I wanted to say.
Okay.
One more thing about why my discipline is so fascinating, and that is that education and teachers are probably one of the most important professions that are out there. And without educators, where would we all be today?